3, 2, 1, nu.
Vi går inte från börsen på riktigt.
The time since Nordic Masters has been spent on a number of things. The meta testing hasn't been as active because we expected a slate about a week and a half, so we didn't know the correct boundaries for WTC until a week and a half ago. But we have been testing actively, and when we got the slate, the testing has ramped up considerably with a lot of games internally in the team and also externally through our 3 sister teams, which is Canada, Norway and America. We are currently in a scrim against America where we paired yesterday, and we are currently at the first of our boot camps in Skrys lokaler in central Stockholm, which is one of our sponsors. We have another boot camp planned in about that's a month away, which is after list release, so we'll have a better time testing into things we know our opponents are playing. Obviously, with it being so close to the slate, it is swinging wildly what we think is viable. Green Tide, for example, went from before slate being one of the best armies in the game to after the slate we thought it was still good, at least the Green Tide players did, to being questioned if it was even playable, and now it is performing well at the bootcamp. So it's hard to know the meta for now, but I'm hoping that at the end of this bootcamp we will have some armies set to players. We currently already have 2. We know that Kalle will play 1000 Suns if nothing really bad happens, and we know that I will be playing Sisters, but I hope to have more armies set after this weekend. Since last we talked, I've also went on an interview with Conduct Lost. Me and the captain of Norway, Patrick, spoke to Joker about last year, expectations for this year, and so on. We've also had a new drive in the community of 40k in Sweden, which has resulted in, for example, that we are going to be streaming all our games at WTC. Which we're very thankful for, that we have people that are very engaged and actively work in our hobby to bring it to the rest of Sweden. We'll also be streaming in English, so it doesn't necessarily need to be Sweden. That's a short update of all the things we've been doing since last I spoke, I think.
Has your expectations for WTC changed?
I wouldn't say my expectations have changed. The easiest thing we have to compare to in preparation is Norway, Canada and America. We see how they do things, we see how they talk about things, and I have no reason to think that the way we're doing things should not lead to a top 3 finish. We are stronger than we've ever been, which is something I've said repeatedly and said in previous years as well. And I see no reason that if we play a top team and we play our best game that we shouldn't beat them. So I think top 3 is what we aim for, and I think that is well within our reach.
We've been prepping all day, and we're prepping for a while now. I'm still playing my 1000 Suns. I have changed the list a bit, and I'm finding it really good into most things. It's really nice.
And what are your expectations now with the tournament coming up?
Even higher. I think it's top 3 or nothing. It's like a big year for Sweden.
Anything you'd like to add?
Well, we're having a great time. I'd like to thank our sponsors. Our sponsors, especially Skry, which we are playing at now, are really good. And also, of course, Alpha Spel and Republic of Gamers.
I'm looking forward to WTC because it's really a fun event, and it's going to be a real party to meet everyone there, and together with our team do the best of the tournament. The new meta is very interesting. It feels like many more armies has play now, and it does feel like we have like maybe 4 or 5 armies that are really in the top, and then we have many contenders, which is really good and fun.
Today we are at Skrys lokal in Stockholm. The whole Swedish national team is here and playing a bunch of Warhammer 40k games just to test some list outs and see what our predictions will be in the upcoming WTC. Looking forward to the event in August and playing with my friends here in the Swedish national team.
Well, my name is Olof Svensson, and I've been playing at the WTC for quite a few years now, and I'm very happy to attend this year as well. I've been playing a lot of Horde armies in the past. I really enjoy having a lot of models to move around, and yeah, that's my preferred playstyle. But I can adapt to almost anything. I think this year is probably the most organized that we have had so far. Everyone is super focused, and everything is very well arranged. So I'm really looking forward to this year. I'm very happy to be a part of it this year.
Tell me a bit about yourself.
Va? Sorry, my name is... I'm a coach for the Swedish team.
My name is...
My name is... Jag kan inte se dig sitta och skratta åt mig. Det går. Du kan inte göra det nu. Du får göra det sen.
Andas ut.
Jag är ju 5 mål innanför västen.
Andas ut.
Det går ju inte när du sitter så här.
Kräktes lite.
Kan vi vänta med den här telefonen eller?
I think the preparations are going good. There are some more or less wild ideas that we're trying out. But it seems like we have a good idea of what we want to try and what we want to try them into. So I think it's going good.
I mean, preparations in general, to be honest, we're doing a physical boot camp here. It's great, both for the army and also for like team building and team spirit. But other than that, we do basically the same stuff, but less condensed on internet and TTS and Discord. So the short answer is we also do a lot of testing of armies and stuff in between. And I think we're currently like 2 weeks-ish out from this submission. So yeah, this is the final stretch for this part of the preparations, I'd say. After that, the other hard part starts.
It's going well. We're arguing quite a bit. Not entirely on the same page regarding army choices, but we're coming around to it.
And can you discuss the meta and your thoughts about such things preparing for WTC?
Sure, I think there's maybe 4 or 5 armies that are quite obvious, and we're trying to attack those, while also not really screwing ourselves up against the level 2 going on. So it's quite a balance between trying to beat what we expect to be a meta, but while also playing armies that are strong in and by themselves.
And how are the preparations going for the event in general?
I think they're going well. Now with the stream, that's going to be quite hectic to come together, but otherwise I think we're doing very well. We're now set up to do a lot of practice in the coming month, and I think we're going to land somewhere strong.
Any additional thoughts?
I think we're still having fun. There's a good balance between, thinking about it as a hobby while still going for the win. So I'm very happy with that as well.
Hi, my name is Andreas. I'm currently a coach for the Swedish WTC team. Last year I was a player. This year I'm not able to make it because I'm becoming a father. I'm currently working a lot with pairings and a lot with just fixing what armies we are going to play and how we're going to pair them into the opposing teams and trying to balance so that we have strong armies, basically.
And what are your thoughts about the new meta?
The new meta is quite interesting. We have lots of even matchups where there's small unit changes can make difference in complete flip outcome of games, which is very interesting. So we have an interesting meta. It's quite even. It's not settled. We have lots of armies that are viable. It's fun. It's good.
And what are your estimations for Team Sweden this year?
This year I think Sweden is going to win. We have done lots of preparation. We are taking it very seriously, and while still having very fun. It's a good squad with it's a good community. It's a good team, strong players, very strong players, which is coming together nicely as a team.
And do you have any additional thoughts?
I think Axel is going to score the most points with Necrons this year.
It's been a lot of things that changed with the new slate and the new points and a few rules changes, as well as new codexes. So it's been a lot of things to keep up with and a lot of matches to play.
Can you say something about the sponsor events?
Yeah, of course. We also had a sponsored event at Alpha Spel where we, together with a few players, went there and played with some of their staff, and both beginners, more experienced players, and people that play from time to time. It was an amazing event. We had a lot of fun, met a few lovely people that we could both introduce to the hobby, as well as try to make them see like how you can play competitive, and yeah, it was a really lovely event.
We've been at Screw's office as well, which we are currently, and they've also been a very gracious host. We had a very similar setup where they brought food and drinks, and we came here, brought our armies, and we basically, it was more of a coaching session for more experienced players, and this was before the Atlanta Open in the US. Some of the guys that were working here were going all the way to across the pond to try to match up against Americans, and we tried to help them with some of the matchups that they felt were more difficult or they didn't have enough games into, and more in broad general about in which way they should think about their matches, appropriate to their army of course, but also in general. Yeah, so we came into this boot camp with a lot of different armies that we thought all were like acceptable choices. We had some armies that we felt that was like we're gonna play them for sure, and I think that was Adeptus Sororitas. We also had Tau pretty high up with the new Tiger Shark changes, which we've been kind of going away from, honestly, because we thought of ways to punish it, and since it's only like a good first defender army, we feel like that's a bit too much of a risk, so that's been interesting. We also had Blood Angels as one of our big armies that was gonna almost obviously be in, but thanks to our like Northern Coalition we call it, but actually there's Americans and Canadians in it too. We got a new army on our hands, which is Dark Angels. So it's a super interesting choice towards interchanging Blood Angels to Dark Angels. So we maybe figured out that we're gonna do that. I personally had, with its new metagame, started to get a lot more armies that I was responsible for, and it was it was exactly Votan, Tyranids, and Adeptus Custodes, of course, which I played for a long time, and Chaos Demons, which I've been a proponent for a long time. I've been doing quite well with it too. Those, I guess you could say, a lot of skepticism towards demons because they're missing some vectors in the game that you really want to have, but somehow it usually sorts itself out with their dynamic playstyle and way of punishing opponents that doesn't know exactly what's going on. So in this bootcamp specifically, I've been playing against players with rock solid lists that we think are going to show up at WTC for sure, and they had all information at hand, so they didn't want to make a specific misplay, and they've been doing quite well anyways. So because of that, I'm likely to play Chaos Demons at WTC, which is pretty cool because I've been testing that list for a long time, and I don't think anyone else is going to do it, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah.
And what are your expectations for WTC?
I think we have well, I'm pretty new at the game, honestly, so I don't have the history reference to a T, because I haven't experienced myself. This is actually my first WTC, But from what I've heard, it seems like we have one of the stronger teams that Sweden has ever had. And I think our preparation is, while hectic and intense, I think it's giving off a lot of results. So I'm actually liking our chances, without jinxing it, of course.
Me being an elf player, preferably, we will see how it goes with that. Maybe I need to switch armies in order to adapt for the team. But the team before the elfish pride, I guess. And we will see how it goes or how it ends up. As for since the Nordic Masters, we have been having a few sponsorships event with Skry, which is also the place for the training camp this weekend, also Alpha Spel, and not forgetting Rock, which is also an amazing sponsor as well. As for something going on with me documenting everything, hopefully resulting in some sort of end product, maybe you will see this at a later stage, maybe during WTC, maybe after WTC in some form. Also, me and Jesper Renander Skarin and Christian Lord have been working on this 40k community-based project around Swedish 40k to maybe, for the first time ever, have a stream at WTC covering the Swedish matches, which would be amazing. And if not this year, we will do some sort of live coverage, and hopefully for the next upcoming years it will be maybe a part of Team Sweden as well in some capacity. So now looking forward to the tournament extremely much, hoping to get as many reps in as possible with a potentially new army. We will see how it goes with that, but it isn't my first time picking up a new army before a tournament, and it's sure not my last either. So see you in Belgium. Joel. Jubel på 3. 1, 2, 3.
Captain's log. The date is June 30th and we're currently 15 days from this submission. We feel very comfortable with our current armies. Captain's log. The date is July 1st. There are 14 days to lift submission and our comp is fucked. Like, a few hours after recording yesterday, WTC decided that the Tiger Shark is not a thing, even though it definitely is a thing. So our ideas about countering it is, and the need to counter it is way lower. This starts questioning a lot of armies in our team.